Subscribe to MDR. Like for more.
Have you ever wondered just what if, the highest grossing director of all time collaborated with the most popular actor in the world for a film? No? Well, don't worry, I did. So let's see what we can discover on today's episode of What If James Cameron Made a Movie with Shah Rukh Khan. If you do not know either of the people mentioned in this episode, then let me give you a brief overview. There has never been a studio that, even with all their effort, has been able to make a film as successful as James Cameron's in the last 3 decades, in the entire effing world. That's right, as of 2009, James Cameron's 1997 directorial Titanic still held the title of being the most successful film of all time, and its record was only broken by his next film Avatar in that very year. And Avatar continues to hold the record of being the highest grossing release, re-release, and the most successful film ever made. Hate him or love him, he's a genius. The second person in consideration is Shah Rukh Khan, an Indian-born actor who has an ever-growing fan base, about 43% of the world's population, including Europe, the Middle East, South Asia, and parts of the Western world. Known mostly for his charming personality, his amazing romance films in the 2000s, his odd-beat films like Dawn and Dirt, where he plays a lovable villain, that's Shah Rukh Khan for you. Obviously, there is no way we can possibly capture the essence of these two magnum personas in just a few sentences, but for now, that's what we'll have to do with. It's interesting that James Cameron and Shah Rukh Khan have both shown a great deal of humility and gratitude towards each other whenever their names were mentioned. One famous instance is following the release of Avatar, when SRK publicly requested Cameron's autograph, to which Cameron humbly responded he would do so, but only if SRK gave him his autograph first.
Shah Rukh Khan.
Giant movie star.
Oh, you know him,
Oh,
yay.
yeah, absolutely.
How does it make you feel? This giant movie star, Shah Rukh Khan, has called us up to say, please get a T2 poster signed by you.
I'm more than happy to sign it, if you'll sign a poster for me.
Oh, what poster would you? You'd have to see one of his films.
Yeah, well, my name is Khan. How about that?
I like that. I like them both. Yet, despite how obvious it seems that the world's most popular actor should be paired with the world's most successful director, it has never happened. If Cameron, the pinnacle of Western cinema, were to team up with SRK, the face of Eastern cinema, it would be a wonder to witness. And there is a very real possibility that this one collaboration could have covered the entire world's population and resulted in one of the most influential films in history, and easily the biggest film of all time. Is there a reason, however, why such collaborations never materialize? Forget materializing, not even considered? I don't know what these studio heads are smoking. Whatever the case may be, one must consider the circumstances under which such a collaboration could take place. What could the movie be about? For that, we need to see the strengths of both these personalities and try to find common ground. And before anyone says SRK should have been in Avatar, I believe SRK's charm derives from being on screen, which I think would have been largely lost if he had starred in a film like Avatar. But then, who knows, maybe it wouldn't have been obscured. Maybe it would have given him a new dimension by playing an avatar given the amazing motion capture of the film. Who knows what could have happened there? We won't ever know unless we see it in person. But then again, that answer would just be a cop-out. So let's look at this from a different perspective. Cameron famously creates movies that feature larger-than-life epic scenarios. But such circumstances are centered and transgressed by a simple love story between two characters. And what better actor could do a love story than Shah Rukh Khan? First genre set, romance, which for SRK would inevitably include comedy and drama, something that Cameron does not shy away from as well. To become epic, as Cameron makes them, the romance of the film must take place in the context of a grand event, whether it is tragic like Titanic, dramatic like The Terminator, or both like Avatar. The second genre can be narrowed down in two ways. Either the film takes place in the past, which would make it a period drama, or it could take place in the future, which would make it a science fiction futuristic drama. Let's consider the first. Some historical event must have occurred in the past where SRK could portray it. Perhaps the sad partition of India after the decolonization? Or for the second, how about a futuristic event in which the world is about to end and one man must rise up to save it? I do think that if it were anything else, it would be too little for the collision of two such powerful forces as Cameron and SRK. So let's consider movies set during the partition of India, involving two lovers who are united in the midst of such tensions and who have to part ways tragically as Jack and Rose did in Titanic. Perhaps this could take place on the borders of India and Pakistan, but for some reason, I think that's something SRK had already accomplished in Veersara. Although that film is not about partition, it deals very much with the societal and political issues related to that. How humans come to hate humans based on geographical distances and cause two lovers who love each other to separate because of selfish motives. Let's explore the other side of this coin. Shah Rukh Khan could be great in a science fiction film, since this aspect of his acting has not been well utilized, at least not in a definitive way yet. I'm looking at you, Ravan. Having thought over it, Having thought it over, I'm not sure what kind of story could take place within a Cameron SRK sci-fi story. Perhaps the story of one man's revolution would be the only premise that would seem appropriate in such a case. A film with the stature of Blade Runner, but with more grit, style, and speed, similar to the action dramas that star SRK. Ideally, it should be an underdog tale in which a man rises from nothing in a dystopian future and battles the big forces to gain newfound freedom for his people. After considering the two ideas, I think it would be better if Cameron SRK's film were a period drama. And perhaps a third premise could see SRK as an unsung soldier who was forced into service by the British and never credited, as many were during the World Wars. This actually could be perfect. He could have had to leave his beloved and go to the war for British, and the audience could see how difficult it would be to make it back to his beloved at the end of a war where he would not even receive a proper burial if he was shot down. And just circumstance such as this would reflect the themes of past Cameron films like Terminator, where Sarah Connor is chased by an unknown killer from the future for unknown reasons, or how Jack in Titanic has to pass away while Rose survives. And like in Avatar, where the Na'vi have to fight to defend their planet from the humans who have ravaged it without their permission. Alright, now we're talking. It is possible to tell the story retrospectively, and SRK's earlier years could even be portrayed in a fitting debut film for Aryan Khan, his son. This stuff is just writing itself now. In light of James Cameron's recent statement that he might not direct Avatar 5 because of a loss of interest in the franchise by the end of this decade, which is understandable considering it's the major project he's been working on since 1997, he could easily change direction and make a film that revolves around the premise of this episode. In all honesty, I wouldn't even complain if they used the premise straight out of this video. All I'd want to do is work on it too. How credible do you think the idea is? We should try to bring it to SRK and James Cameron's attention somehow, by tweets, mentions, whatever. But anyway, that's it for today's episode of What If. If you liked this episode, make sure you let YouTube know by leaving a like and let me know with a comment. And until next time, take care.